Let's go live with the big excitement.
Woo!
Oh, yes, sorry, we're live.
Big excitement. Woohoo.
This is the excitement because today we are super organized. We're 6 minutes late, but that doesn't matter because we had various tech issues as always. But we are live with the Friday Marketing Show, which Janine Coombs came up with. If you ever need some help with your naming your new projects or whatever, speak to Janine.
Such a sophisticated name. Where did I get
think you not stole it, but I think you took inspiration from your secret marketing show.
Yeah, I just watched out The Secret with Friday.
Perfect.
Wow.
Nothing like a
my
format,
mind.
just copy and paste. It's fun.
I love it. So, quick introduction. Let's just quickly introduce everyone, and then we're going to crack on with today's topic, and we're going to be talking about which brands are doing cool stuff in marketing. Very big, very generic, exciting topic. We can basically talk about anything, but that's what we're going to start off today. But first of all, let's say hi to everyone. Debbie, let's start with you.
Good morning. Hello, I'm Debbie, or Debbie Duda. I'm a business coach and university lecturer and a multifaceted woman with fingers in many pies. And I'm excited about today because there's some brands that I really love that I would love to kind of share with people. So yeah, I'm excited to hear about what other people are going to bring to the table.
Amazing. Peter.
So first of all, it's interesting that we've chosen brands to talk about today because look at Debbie's background and the colour of the logo that we've utilised and the colour of the little tab that we've all got, and then Janine's little hairband, and prior to
I
that,
need something yellow.
I must admit there was a bit of skirt with a bit of yellow going on there.
There is a bit of skirt.
There you go. Everyone's on brand and I'm in blue. So anyway.
Come in yellow next time, Peter.
Yeah, I don't think I own anything yellow.
Oh.
Does mustard count?
Yes.
Right. Wow. Showing my fashion side there. Anyway, my name's Pete Sumpton, marketing consultant. I also offer professional marketing qualifications. Simple.
Fabulous.
Amazing. Janine, you've got your little yellow headband on. You got the memo. I didn't today, but I will be wearing it next week. What about you, Janine?
I'm Janine Coombs. Hello. And
don't you know who I am?
Well, you don't want to assume, never assume. And I help small service-based business owners and personal brands package up their services to create compelling offers that practically sell themselves.
Woohoo!
And you come up with names for things if anyone's struggling with that.
I'm very hot this morning. I'm
hot too because I've just done a big walk. I'm Emmy Faust. I am a growth strategist and I help seed-funded businesses put together a strategy and a plan for growth. And also, I often get asked by established businesses who are maybe wanting to bring themselves into the 21st century for help with their digital and growth. So they're sort of wanting to take inspiration from disruptive brands. And I absolutely love doing it. And it's so exciting to start this. We're going to have about 4 or 5 people every week just chewing the cud. I've just been explaining to my daughter what chewing the cud means, but chewing the cud with marketing. Is that right? That is what we're doing, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, I think so. Or chewing the fat, chewing the cud, chewing something.
Chewing something. Yeah. So
it's going downhill already.
We're going to talk about brands that do cool stuff. Who's going to start?
I want to just share like a really little thing that happened to me the other day. So I bought some clothing online from a company called Aggi. It's AGGI. And it came wrapped up in a ribbon. And on the ribbon, they'd printed my name.
Oh, I love that.
And I was like, what amazing personalized customer service. So when I opened this kind of lovely pair of trousers, my name's like, and it was like, had my name on it and their branding. And I just thought, it's such a little thing, but to have gone to the effort to push that out and print it out with my name just sort of made me really like the brand even more. And I think sometimes it can be really small things that you can do that actually make a massive difference and make people remember your brand. So I was super impressed by that. I was like, oh, the ribbon with my name on it.
Also, I wonder, I bet you're less likely to return it as well, aren't you? When you open that and you're like, oh, they've really thought about me. And then do you know what I mean?
Well, I did return it because I ordered them in 2 pairs. Who knows what size you are when you order things online? But I did keep 1 pair and they're very beautiful pair of trousers. But it's now making me go and say, have you seen this designer brand called Aggi? Go and check them out. So word of mouth marketing is one of the best forms, isn't it?
Unfortunately, yeah, because there's not a lot we can do to. I mean, we can stimulate it, but we certainly can't regulate it.
Putting names on ribbons, there you go. That's the way to stimulate some word of mouth marketing. So that I just wanted to bring that to the table.
Look back at what Coca-Cola did as well, with names on bottles,
exactly.
and how big that was.
Yeah.
And it resonates with me simply if you look at, and I always try and take it back to the theory, as sad as I am, but you look at the theory behind it, and it's all about that drawing somebody into a brand, and there's nothing easier to draw someone into a brand or gain their attention than seeing their name on something. You know, that's like, we see our names on emails all the time, but that's just too easy to do. You know, but on something physical, that's a cost to a business, and as soon as you attribute costs to things, they start to become more valuable to you.
So, Peter, can I ask you, was Coca-Cola the first? Because obviously, you know, Cadbury's are doing it, everyone's doing it now, but was Coca-Cola the first? I mean, look, I don't know if you know if they're the first people, but was that, you know? I
very much doubt that they were first, but you know, they certainly did it en masse globally. I can't think of another company that did that, and I could be wrong. And again, we were chatting over message before we came live on air, and we were talking about what a cool brand is or what a good brand is. And the issue you have is that we'll talk today about mainstream brands, but there's so many different companies, and in niche markets and in less consumer facing markets that will be doing amazing stuff that we don't even know about.
That's okay.
So hopefully we'll get some comments from people. We can't. And actually, if we get some comments from people about the brands they love and what they're doing in marketing, that's cool. That's amazing, because then we can always come back to those and talk about those. Because I did a post about the customer journey and what brands I love. And it was amazing to see people post about, you know, these well-known brands and not so well-known brands that are nailing the customer journey and just really thinking about what we do. What about you, Janine? What are your thoughts? Have you got any brands you love? They're doing cool stuff, good stuff. Making it work.
One of the best things, it's an example of an email welcome sequence, I suppose. But I joined Veganuary, vegan, you know, it was just January, and they've done it now so that you can sign up. It's like a challenge for any time of the year. So it's your own month. You choose the start date, which I thought was quite just everything they thought through. They've obviously run it a few times and got loads of feedback and really fed it into the system, because they preempted every single question I had that popped up into my subconscious. They served me up an email that answered it. It was like they were reading my mind, which is absolutely beautiful. And even the start date, it said, when do you want to start? Do you want to start now, or do you want to start in a week? And I was like, yeah, I want to start in a week. I want to warm up to this. I want to prepare. And then they sent me emails about how to prepare, suggested meal plans, you know, a cheat sheet of where to get vegan food from, a cheat sheet of some really useful swaps for the most common things that you're going to miss. Things like this guy, I can't remember his name, some very serious doctor dude has done like the things that you need to eat every day to be healthy. So they sent that not once, but like they peppered it through, because you've got an email every day for the 30 days of your month. And they sort of reminded you, don't forget, you're meant to be eating all these things to keep healthy. And then they just subtly, in a non-preaching way, reminded you why you joined the challenge and asking you how you were getting along. And then one email was like, oh, have you fallen off the wagon? Don't worry, you know, it's not about perfection. It's, you know, it just was really beautifully done. The emails were so useful. I ended up saving each one. I've got a little folder. It's like saving, you know, I must admit I was rubbish.
So how long did it last?
I, you know, was vegan for the month in the slightest. But
you love the emails.
I love the emails, and you know, it does take a while to start a new habit, and now I'm getting into a rhythm, and it's like, okay, I've tried the cheeses, and I like this cheese, but actually there's no protein, so I won't eat that. I'll eat this instead. Okay, and it does take a while. So the way that they were so non-preachy really helped make me think, okay, it doesn't matter if I've not managed it for these 4 weeks, but I am probably eating more vegan now than I was during the challenge. which is really what they wanted, isn't it?
And look what they've done there. The key word you just said there is helped. Like, you know, everything you just said, it sounded like they were there to help you. It wasn't about, let's face it, it's always about the sale, but it wasn't about the sale. And as soon as you come from that point of view of, I want to help somebody solve a problem, then you're onto a winner, basically.
I mean, they're slightly different because there wasn't something they were trying to sell. They were trying to sell you on veganism, and they did ask you for money subtly at a couple of points. They said, you know, this is a charity, we're running it not for profit. Can you support us? And you just think, oh God, you know, you're helping me so much. Yes, I will.
Yeah, that's nice.
And you can definitely apply that to a business like ours, or any small business, or any big business.
So they've done a lot of research, and they got to really understand the customers and what they might be struggling with, and educating and adding value. And I think that's the main thing, isn't it? That I'm sure we all say to our clients, when you're sending out emails and you're going into people's email inbox, which is kind of a sacred place, and we're all getting overrun with emails, make sure you're adding value, engaging, educating, inspiring, and helping people with their problems.
And the last thing I'll say, and then we can go over to Peter and yourself, is they have a really, really, really strong, clear purpose. And when I have clients that struggle to write emails or struggle to write content, they're not sharp enough on who they're helping with what. Yes, that's always the core of it. If you're not clear on exactly who you're helping with what this month on LinkedIn, you're going to struggle with your content.
You're so right, because I think just very quickly, like when I first started consulting, when I'd sold my business, I had worked in every industry, every vertical, B2B, B2C, blah, 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 you know, big businesses, small businesses. I found it so hard to sort of write content because I didn't know who I was writing to, because essentially I was writing to anyone. And when I've massively, you know, come down and sort of niche to these seed funded business owners who've got a bit of money, you know, they've just got 150, 200 grand, 300 grand, and they need to probably get to the next round of funding, and they're scared about, you know, wasting their investors' money, and they don't know whether to get a marketing manager or not. It's so much easier to write content because you're just talking to that one person or that one sort of group, and they're very specific problems. So I think we talked about this, haven't we, Janine, before? I mean, it's the thing that we keep coming back to about being clear on your audience and your customer. And I know Peter loves this. Well, we all love it, don't we? Yeah. I mean, we can do a whole marketing show on this, but yeah.
I think, you know, you've done it really well. Like you said, Janine, something like it's like they were writing them directly to you, or they knew you and they knew your
struggle. They were in my mind. They were totally preempting. I was like, oh, but what about, there's an email.
Yeah. And the more you know your customers, it's almost like you can interrupt the voice that's already going on in their head and get there right at the point where they're having that pain or that problem. And because you know them so well, it is like, how do you know? How did you know that I was thinking about that today? Or how did you know that was what I was struggling with? And I think when you get that response from your clients, when you've created content, you know that you've like struck gold. It's like, yes, I am in your head. I literally am, because I know you so well. And that's kind of the golden like pinnacle to get to, isn't it? I think I'm going to go and check out Veganuary as well. I do really good veganism, you know, on the side. So if you know, all hints and tips, you know, gratefully received.
on the side.
A bit of veganism on the side
with a big steak.
Just out of interest, would you go anywhere else for? What's the term? I want to say a fancy word for vegan information, but I can't think of one.
Not now, no.
There you go. Like
they've become my source.
Yeah. Nailed it, haven't they? You know, they're in your head, and you're like, why would I go anywhere else? And that's where we all want to get to. On Debbie's point, as soon as you've struck that gold, it's a case of, well, why don't give anyone an option to go anywhere else? Why would they? You know, they're providing you all the information you need, so you don't have to look anywhere. You don't have to go anywhere because you've got the emails direct, so you can do what you want with them. So amazing.
And then you're talking about them, aren't you, on here, and probably telling all your friends about it. And got the word of mouth marketing. On this, because I know Debbie, I know you love this brand, but I was just going to say, I got this ready because I knew Debbie was going to, but have you read this?
Yes.
This is amazing. This is about email marketing from, and I'm sure Debbie will tell us about David Hyatt, who has, I always used to call it wheat denim, but it's Hyatt denim, isn't it?
Yeah.
And this book is amazing about email marketing, how it totally transformed his business. He basically grew his whole business, which is now really successful, from email marketing. And it's such a good read. I basically bought it for all my clients so that I don't have to persuade them about email marketing, that they read this and then they're like, oh yeah,
great,
let's do it.
So powerful.
It's for me, it's one of the forgotten mediums that we almost all take for granted. And yeah, it can be so powerful simply because you're in there, you posted something to them, done right and done correctly. There's not as much noise. It's on their own platform. It's on their own inbox. It's not on a social platform, which is open to anyone. There's so many benefits of emails, but it's so difficult to get it right because there's that much noise in that inbox itself.
Bertie's saying email marketing is still super powerful. I think we could do a whole Friday marketing show, at least one on email marketing. So I'm going to add that to our list of topics. But Peter, three tips on making, nailing your email marketing.
Go. Well, first of all,
tell us the name of the book. Jane's saying, can she have the name of the book? It's called Do Open: How a Simple Email Newsletter Can Transform Your Business. It's so brilliant, Jane. I read this in an you could read that with a gin and tonic or a cup of tea or whatever you like. Literally, probably took me an hour, but it's really made me think about email marketing, and I need to do my email marketing better. But have a read of the book; it's amazing. Peter, sorry, I just disrupted you.
Yes. So the 3 tips would be: read that book, listen to the Friday marketing show.
Yes. Subscribe to your newsletter.
yeah. And then contact Debbie, Emmy, and Janine.
You, Peter, you're the marketing, sort of lecturer of the. I don't know. You've got all the qualifications, haven't you? You've got all the big tips.
Qualifications don't mean an awful lot in marketing. If I'm going to be. That's a very, 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 very flippant thing to say. I don't mean that. Let me rephrase that. What I mean is that you need those qualifications as a foundational basis, but then it's down to you to develop them and deploy them. And that's where people go wrong. Like, oh, I've got a qualification, I can do marketing. Well, no, you understand the theory behind it. Now you need to apply it. This is the hard bit. So that's what I mean by that. Hugely important. But it's more important that you actually apply it afterwards than it is the actual qualification itself.
Totally agree. Because you learn, I'd say you learn most of it on the job, don't you?
Yeah, massively. But sorry, if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know why you're doing it, it becomes harder.
Yeah.
Sorry, Debbie.
No.
Are you going to tell us about your favourite brand, your other favourite brand apart from Aggie?
Oh, me? Well, because I've got a couple of minutes, haven't I, before I've got to go off.
Bertie's hovering around waiting for you.
And Bertie's here. By the way, Bertie's just written in the comments, and at the beginning of this year, he committed to sending an email every single day, and his audience love it.
I love his emails; they're brilliant.
Yeah, and you would think, oh my god, if I emailed every day, I would be harassing them. But if you can hit it spot on, then people want to hear from you. So my other favourite brand is Wheat Denim, which is in Wales, where Emmy is now. And the reason I love the brand is because they create denim jeans that are ethical. The whole process is ethical, and every day they're trying to make the process of making jeans better for the planet, and that's their mission question, not statement. And I love them because they sold out of their jeans and they hadn't spent any money on marketing. Like, they had a 6-month wait list for their jeans, which are about £120 a pair. So it's, at the, upper range of what you would spend on a pair of jeans. And the reason they did that is because they sold why they were doing it based on the values of being good for the planet and bringing jobs back to Wales and their ethics and their why. And they just kept talking about that. And they got so much PR and publicity through why they were doing it. They didn't have to spend any money, and they had a 6-month wait list. And I think that is amazing for a brand, like coming from nothing to having a 6-month wait list. So I just think that actually brands that really dig into why they're doing stuff and get people behind like that mission and wanting to be part of that story just sort of blew me away, really. So yeah, I love them. And plus they produce these books, these Do books, and they have a festival every year called the Do Festival, and you can go and hang out with like-minded people and learn stuff in Wales alongside.
I think we should do that. I think we should go to the Do Festival.
We should so do that. So I just think they're doing things a little bit differently, and really well. So go and check them out. It's HIUT. I always say
the same guy that wrote this. So what was really interesting though, Debbie, in his book that he said is, yeah, they sold out and everything, but then they took the website down, didn't they? So because he sold out, well, they stopped taking orders basically because they were so overwhelmed with orders. He was like, oh God, I don't know what to do. I've got so many orders. So they stopped taking orders, and then all of a sudden they'd fulfilled all their orders and they didn't have any more orders to come. So his big lesson was like, if you're oversubscribed, at least have a wait list or have some way that people can pre-purchase your products, because after all that hard work and they fulfilled all these orders, he was suddenly like looking at a blank screen, no orders. And that's when he got on, with, and I think he said he spent most of his marketing budget. That's when he really turned to email and to nurture that community and that community that he built. So, it's a great story, isn't it? I love it.
I'm going to go because I'm a LinkedIn. I won't say what it is, but I'm going to go. I'll be live again with Bertie in a minute. Thank you. Lovely to meet you, Peter. See you later, Janine. Bye.
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 So, Janine, apart from Veganuary, anything else any other brands that are doing good stuff?
It's not a big brand, but I bought a card a while ago, and it had this cute little sheet in there. And to me, this is because I'm an ex-corporate traditional marketer. That was my roots. And
what does it say on the thing?
One of my favorite. I'll tell you in a minute.
Oh, sorry.
One of my if you get me of an evening and get me ranting, one of my bugbears is how people think everything is new. Oh my God, content marketing is new. The old ways are dead. Everything is new. There's, TV advertising doesn't work anymore. It's all online. But this is an example of content marketing in my opinion. And this kind of thing was happening, 60, 70 years ago. But it's a little insert. It's how to write the best card ever.
Oh, and that's so sweet.
Beautifully positions their brand, because it's their tone of voice, and it's just like how to write the best card ever. And it's like, know your audience, write how you talk. I was like, oh my God, this is like marketing 101. Be nice, don't hold back, sign off with love. And they've got like cute little we recommend signing off with kisses. How do you want to write? Do you want to go for the silly kiss? Do you want to go for a little smiley face? Do you want to go XOXO? And it's just, I just thought it was really quirky and cute.
And it's got you talking again.
What are we talking again?
Yeah, I love that. So some of because I've been doing a lot about the customer journey recently, I've been really focused on that. And, I think Starling Bank has been a game changer for me. I'm talking about the way that they treat their customers and the customer experience and the customer service and the customer journey, which means that I tell everyone to join them, which I suppose is marketing, and I will probably never leave them. But for example, just like I changed my company name, and like in the olden days, if you change your company name, you'd have to ring up that old school bank and wait on the phone for like 20 minutes, talk to someone that I don't know, probably doesn't understand what you're trying to do, and then you have to send a letter, and then it takes 3 weeks. And I literally was going to call Starling to tell them I changed my business name, and I logged in, and it updated itself for me. And I was just like, wow, this is amazing. So Starling make everything so easy. Like nice. All those things that used to be so painful are so easy, like with my banking. And obviously I rave about them to everyone. And lots of other people have said they've experienced the same. And it's going to be interesting, isn't it, to see how these old school banks are going to sort of catch up with them.
I just love the fact that Janine mentioned that nothing's changed in marketing. There is hardly anything new. It's just the platforms that change. And going back to what we've been talking about, so we've had helpful content, we've had reducing friction in terms of changing the name of a bank. We've had somebody that tells stories about their company, so much so that they had to take the website down. And it's all the same thing, it's all content. It's all being helpful. It's all reducing the friction in the customer journey. It's always the same stuff. And that goes back to knowing your audience. It always comes back to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I think, you're right. If you do your research, you know your audience, you know what they're struggling with, where they want to get to, how your product or service is different and the transformation it provides. And then if you provide an amazing experience and your product or service is really good, you're well on the way to getting somewhere, aren't you?
Mm-hmm. And that's got to be with the culture as well of the company. It's got to be in the culture of the company. Like Starling Bank, and yes, a lot of that will be automated, but you're saying it was good customer service regardless. And if you're
they're always so nice. Whenever you call them up, they're like, we'll actually ask you meaningful questions, about what you're up to, or like, so what do you do with your work? And like, they're actually really genuinely interested. And it's like, wow, this person is, you're right. It's the culture.
And that's the culture, and that starts at the top and feeds down, and that's a huge important thing in the brand. And it's almost forgotten, and people throw culture around like it's just a word, and change the culture. It's so difficult to do, because at the end of the day, businesses have got humans in them, and we're all different. So to change the culture is really, really hard.
Can we talk about culture and marketing without mentioning Brewdog?
I was going to say that. Well, I don't know. I don't know if we should go down that route today, Janine. Do you want to? That kind of thing scares me. I don't ever want, I did read it and it feels like, I don't know.
I think all I want to say on the matter was we're talking about culture, and you've got to start from the top, and that's how it feels. But is it possible that you can have I'm not saying this is what happens at Brewdog, because I don't want to get sued. But it sounded like the ex-employees felt like that culture was not there. But that's it. The branding was really good. The marketing, I was convinced they were, I was convinced that they are, ethical, and they're trying to push that sort of environmental agenda forwards. And I love their branding, and they're coming across as like a fun company. I don't drink alcohol, but if I did, I'd probably want to drink their beer.
I think I think a lot of brands are waking up to the fact that they need to be more sustainable. They need to be responsible for what they're doing. It's not just about making profit. It's about people, profit, planet. It's the B Corp. I'm a big advocate of B Corp. Try to do it myself. Lots of my clients want to do it. Everyone's wanting to become a B Corp. Everyone's doing 1% for the planet. It's kind of like the norm now. And I think in the past, I'm sure lots of businesses, huge numbers of businesses, have just not cared about that and have really just thought about their profit and put their profit first, put their profit above their people, put their profit above their suppliers, their customers, their everyone, and also made decisions that weren't sustainable or good for the planet. And when you do the B Corp assessment, it's so hardcore and so full on, and the things that you have to do to put yourself, forward for this assessment and basically to get the points are really, demanding. And I think that it's great to see all these businesses doing it now. And I think businesses are just waking up to the fact that, they probably weren't running a business in the way that they should have, but they now want to make that change, because you're seeing loads of like mainstream businesses now wanting to become B Corps, and also all the big supermarket stores like Ocado and Ocado and Waitrose. I think both of them, they have like, B Corp brands and stuff like that. So they're sort of giving those brands more prominent placement. So I think that a lot of businesses probably, and I'm not talking about any business in particular, I'm just saying loads of businesses probably made lots of decisions that weren't, that were for profit. They were running their business for profit without thinking about all the other factors that come in to play. And I think now everyone is very interested in, like we said, buying from businesses with a purpose and businesses that really care and treat their staff well, treat their suppliers well, your suppliers are as important as your clients. I sometimes people treat their suppliers like shit, and it's just not okay. It's not okay, is it?
Absolutely. I do a lot of work in the construction industry, and there has been you can see the shift and the change towards more. And it's quite an old school industry, to be fair, from the bottom up. But you can see that change in more ethical behavior, sustainable products. They call it the golden thread, and the whole supply chain getting involved in, well, how do we recycle these products? And I can't remember the percentage that goes to landfill, but it's a lot. Like, you think of all the construction, and when you knock down a building and all the stuff that's in that building, how much of that can be recycled?
Probably loads.
There's probably loads, but how much is recycled and how much is just put in a skip? And then is that recycled? There is a lot to do in that industry, but it's, big companies are wanting to see that change in that industry.
And that's great. And, if everyone adopts that and everyone starts thinking about all the other things that are important for a business, not just profit, then it's going to be a much happier place. Now, we need to say goodbye, don't we? Because it's 30 minutes been and gone. It's amazing. The first Friday Marketing Show. Thank you, Janine. Thanks so much, Peter, for coming and joining us this week.
No problem.
Do come back and join us as a panelist. We've got absolutely loads of people. I don't know how we're going to squeeze everyone in, but I think we can just do this sort of thing where people come and go, even halfway through.
Cool.
And have an amazing weekend, everyone. Bye.